Hello, and welcome to More Together with School District 25, where each week we'll take a deeper dive into some of the issues, accomplishments, news, and current events happening around our school communities. This is a chance for listeners to get to know the school district and learn more about the educational issues you care about the most. I'm Courtney Fisher, and today I'm welcoming Brenda Miner as my guest. Brenda is the Director of Human Resources for School District 25. Today we'll be talking summer hiring and hiring for positions for the 2021-2022 school year. So let's get to it. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you for having me. It's such an exciting time of year as we watch these seniors get to have their graduation and things starting to kind of come back a little bit to normal in our school district. And I'm just really excited to be here and tell you why working for School District 25 is the best job you could have.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. And yes, we have graduation today, and we're all really excited to bring this year to a close. But we have lots of great things to look forward to, including, summer for us at the district office, so we stay open. And so it's a time for us to start planning for the next school year. We also have lots of positions available to keep the district running during the school year, which many people probably don't know what those are. But first, before we dig into that, let's find out a little bit more about you. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and the role you play for School District 25?
So School District 25 is near and dear to my heart. I started here. I won't even say what year because I've been here a while, but I started as a substitute, and then I went and taught at Tendoy Elementary my whole teaching career. It was a fabulous experience teaching third grade, sixth grade, and as a reading interventionist. And then I moved to Wilcox Elementary as the principal, and I was able to be there, another fabulous elementary school here in our district. And then this is my end of my second year as Human Resources Director, and it's just been a really nice experience for me to have so many different perspectives and look at things from so many different angles in our district.
So as Director of Human Resources, you're tasked with helping recruit qualified individuals to seek employment with School District 25. So first, help our listeners understand the many different categories of employees that we need to operate a school district of our size, which is roughly 12,000 students.
I was so surprised when I took this position, all of the other jobs and job opportunities that are in our school district, that when you're in a building, you don't see the intricacies of how a school district works. There are so many different departments. We have maintenance and operation, transportation, food service, technology, lots of clerical staff, paraprofessionals, teachers, ancillary staff, custodial staff in the buildings, as well as custodial staff at the district office, and all different parts of our school district have unique needs. And so we have, for example, in the summer, we have a lot more work that needs to be done on the grounds. So we hire more people in the summer for grounds work. Food service also hires for their summer feed program. So we have those opportunities as well. And just the fact that in a school, there's so many people that make this whole system work. And without any of those people, we would be in a difficult position. So just every position in our school district is so valuable.
Great. I was really surprised when I joined the school district 3 years ago to find out just how many employees and staff members that we have. Can you share with us what is that number?
So when you think about how many different staff members we have and we have around 700 teachers. And so if you think about a school district our size and being able to have so many employees in our food service, our maintenance department, and all of those components that help make our school district work.
Right. I think we have in addition to 700 teachers, we have roughly 1,700 staff members that make this whole system run, which is just a phenomenal number to me.
Right, and we have everything from part-time positions to reading aides that work 10 hours a week, and all the way to 12-month employees. And so
Right.
Out of all of those people in our buildings, like I say, it's a 12-month operation for sure,
Yes,
which you
it
wouldn't
is.
think it would be. You'd think today was the last day. I will be honest with you, after taking this job and working the 12 months, I'm always a little envious when the 9-monthers are walking out the door.
And I think community members are surprised because, so many people, it's like, you close the school doors, it's, off for summer, but no, we're still here.
We're still here, yeah.
Day in and day out in the summer, and planning ahead and making sure that this ship continues to run as efficiently as it does. So lately you drive up and down Yellowstone, and we're located on Pole Line, but you drive up and down Yellowstone and you see now hiring on marquees, in windows, on the digital video boards. That is true of School District 25, right? We don't have that sign in our window, but we are hiring. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. We are hiring. We have so many different positions, and this is a wonderful time for you to be able to go onto our website and look at some of the opportunities that are available and see what fits your personality. I think that a lot of times one of the things that has been a favorite part of my job is having someone come in and maybe being in a position that they're thinking, this isn't a perfect fit for me, and looking at all the different opportunities that are in our school district for them to be able to do. For example, we have multiple food service positions available. We have grounds positions available in maintenance and operation. There was a wonderful article in the paper last week about the wonderful bus drivers that we have in our district, and we need so many bus drivers for this upcoming school year, and just the opportunity that being a bus driver lends. I just loved the article, and that she had made that a part of her life, and just what she has done for those students and what our bus drivers do is really important. And I just think that that's a really great opportunity that we have. So we need many bus drivers. We're hiring coaching positions. We have paraprofessional positions in our schools. And
define that for me a little bit, because I think that's a term that people aren't entirely familiar with. What does it mean to be a paraprofessional?
So it can look a lot of different ways. A paraprofessional can do anything from working in our Title I program, which is where students are struggling a little bit and need a little extra assistance, let's say in reading or in math. And so they'll work in small groups with those students, and they'll make sure that they're just giving them the little boost that they need. Some paraprofessionals work in our special education classrooms, and those are called personal care assistants. So if you see that in there, what that means is that those have a few different responsibilities, that they'll work with some of our learners that maybe have toileting needs or feeding needs or those types of things. And so that job looks a little bit different. Another position that's available is a behavior tech in some of our schools, and what that position does is just making sure that our students are staying on the right track, and if they need a little extra assistance based on behavior or academics, that person can help give them some strategies. And so those are some of the opportunities that are available. Of course, we still have some teaching positions that are open as well.
I think sometimes, you think of a school and you think of a teacher in a classroom and a principal of the school, and you don't really think of the ancillary staff that really do some of the most important work in our schools to keep that learning progressing. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Our schools would absolutely not run without our ancillary staff. They are amazing. They are the ones that are out at recess duty, so they're able to, build relationships with students, and then they're also able to maybe give a heads up if they catch something. Let's say they're out at duty before school starts, and they're able to know that, maybe Tommy's having a bad day, and they can let the teacher know, and then we can kind of have that teamwork approach. And just the fact that these kids have another adult in their life to build a relationship with, and School District 25 relationships is our focus. And so those extra people and extra set of hands in the buildings are critical, that we wouldn't be able to do without.
It is so true. And I think it's the same is true of our bus drivers and our food service staff. Our bus drivers, they are the first face that learners see in the morning, and they're the last School District 25 face they see in the afternoon. And so they can really help set the tone for that day. Same thing when learners come in for breakfast or lunch. So those play a critical role in developing those relationships, as you said.
I just think that any opportunity that our learners have to be able to interact with other adults. Another important factor in our schools that we need, that we're always in need of, is substitute teachers. I think that they can continue to help our students keep the learning going, and there's not a break in instruction. And so in the fall, we'll be looking for substitute teachers as well.
Okay. So are there opportunities for student employment, and what are those requirements?
So student employment, we can only hire students if they turned 18 by June 1st.
Why is that?
And the reason behind that is just some legal child labor type laws in different places that, of course, the jobs that we need students to, or that we would need people to work in the summer, are positions where maybe there are power tools or there are things that are dangerous, and we need to just make sure that safety is our number one priority, as it always is during the school year. And so just making sure that we have the right people working in those positions that are trained. And sometimes summer employment, those positions are just where they're in the area of those tools. They may not even be using them, but just based on guidelines, we have to be careful. And so we just don't hire student employment.
Okay, that's good to know. What are some of our most pressing needs, and are there any challenges associated with hiring right now?
Our most pressing needs, to be honest with you, are in those positions that I just mentioned, the ones that are the people who see our learners first. We need bus drivers. We need food service workers. We need people in the paraprofessional positions. It is just so critical for our students that we have as many resources as possible. And as you mentioned at the first of the podcast, you talked about how you could drive down Yellowstone. The other day I was driving down and I thought, I'm going to just see how many people are hiring, and I could count 12 before I was between stoplights. So that being said, that is an area that has been a real issue, is that as government stimulus is available and our state has started to open up, everybody's hiring. And so we are all looking at the same workforce. And so that...
Right, and drawn from the same pool, right?
So that makes it difficult. But in the same token is some of the benefits and abilities that School District 25 offers that are things that are not always offered at all locations that are hiring.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So I'm an individual in the community and I'm currently seeking employment. Why should I consider working for School District 25?
I'll be honest with you. When I started, and I remember my starting teaching salary, I thought, I went to college. This is how much I'm going to make. And then I started, as I grew older and medical conditions come up and I look towards retirement and all of those things, those are the reasons you start to really think about what School District 25 has to offer. We have a wonderful medical plan, and let's be honest, those things start to pop up as you get older, and insurance becomes important. And an insurance benefit per month is over $900 that you would pay independently if you weren't working for the school district. So that's a huge added bonus that comes with us. The other thing is that sometimes I think when we're young, we think, retirement. But I can tell you that the per se benefits that come with the school district, if you stay as an employee with us, are beneficial, and they can be beneficial at a pretty young age. When you look at the ability to sometimes at the end of your employment, if you have sick days left, there's opportunities for that to turn into medical premiums that you can pay. So there's some of those underwritten things that you don't see. The other benefits are, for a lot of people, they really enjoy being able to have the same schedule as their kids.
Right.
And that is a real plus, to have the same holidays off, have summer vacation with their families, and those types of things really add to the I would say allure of School District 25.
Right, and those things really add up and add to your quality of life too. That's one of the things that drew me to work for School District 25. All the things you mentioned, the retirement, the health care package, the dental, the having the same vacations as my kids. I was self-employed, and now I get to just go and enjoy those breaks with my kids. So that's a lovely benefit.
I would agree. I think that those are one of the perks that the kids get as well, because a lot of times the people that we hire are people who are family oriented, and so they have that caring personality, and they reflect that on their learners when they're in the buildings or on the buses.
Absolutely.
Or in the lunchrooms.
I agree. So, okay, you've got me hooked. I'm interested, and I'm ready to apply. Can you walk me through the process of what that looks like?
Do I have a deal for you? So
make me a deal.
So log on to School District 25 website at sd25.us. There's a tab that says Employment.
Right at the top.
And then you would go to External Applicant. There'll be two different components. There's an internal applicant and an external applicant. So, for example, if you already work for our school district and you're thinking, like I talked about, that sometimes maybe this job, you think, I'd like to try something different, then you would apply under an internal applicant.
Okay.
But if you're out in the community and this is your first time being able to have the opportunity to work for School District 25, then you would go in as an external applicant. And you would just click on External, start filling out the application, and obviously if there's any questions, there's also a number that you can call.
Okay. And can you tell us that number?
208-235 3259.
Okay, perfect. So where can I learn more about available job opportunities at that same location?
Right, so that same location right down the left-hand side, you'll see vacancies, and then you just click on those vacancies, and it'll give you a little blurb of what the job entails, what the responsibilities are, and those types of things.
Okay, so now you have it. You kind of gotten a picture of what those job opportunities look like that are currently available, how to apply. And, at School District 25, we are all about relationships, and we really believe we live our mission every day to do more together.
I can't say enough good about School District 25. It's become a part of who I am. It's not just a job for me. And I just feel like that there's so many valuable benefits out there, but the relationships that you'll form has definitely been something that's kept me here.
Right. It definitely becomes just integrated into every aspect
you
of your
are.
life when
Right.
you work here, for sure. Okay, Brenda, so before we sign off, it's time to switch gears for a minute. And this is something that I ask of all of our guests, because the purpose of this podcast is not just to share information, but it's to really get to know the minds and the people and the hearts behind School District 25. So I want to ask you, what are you reading now? What's the last book you read, and what's next in your to-be-read pile?
Okay. The last book I read was called We Begin at the End. And I could think that the main thing I took out of that book was that even when something difficult happens, that it's always a new beginning. And so it really has a great storyline, has a little bit of mystery, a little bit of suspense. And so that was a good one for me to change gears and read something a little different. The one that I'm just getting ready to start, so those kind of go together, I haven't started it yet, is The Boys in the Boat.
Okay. Tell me about that one a little bit.
I'm excited because I've heard from, actually I was over at Alameda Middle School, and Brandon Vaughn and Crystal Lockyer were just raving about what a great book this was. So I made sure I went out and found myself a copy of it. And just from what I can tell, it talks about the rowing team for Washington, University of Washington, and how their dedication during to be able to go to the Olympics in Berlin in 1936. And
Okay.
I think what it's going to really reflect, it sounds like it's from one man's kind of perspective, and what it takes and the grit and the determination to kind of be able to compete with some of those Harvard rowing type things, and also to be set in a World War II setting. So,
Right. Oh, that sounds like something really good to look forward to.
And it'll be a great nonfiction read for me.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to add about our conversation today?
Just the fact that for some things to kind of be looking for, as always, we're always looking at the pay and looking at the pay scale and looking at the benefits and all those things. That's always a work in progress. Also, I'm hopeful of having a job fair this summer, and so kind of stay tuned for more information on that. But in the meantime, this is a really good opportunity and a really good time for you to look at the different jobs that are available, because there are quite a few available for you right now, and so you can secure your fall employment and enjoy your summer.
Right. And if you have any questions, I highly recommend just send an email or a call. Your team is phenomenal in being able to help kind of sort out those questions and provide information.
Thank you. We hope to be seeing a lot of new employees here in School District 25.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of new faces. We love welcoming new people into our district family. So, Brenda, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And good luck with the hiring process this summer.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. Our mission at School District 25 is to think more, learn more, and be more together. If you enjoy this podcast, remember, check us out every Friday with a new episode available on our YouTube channel. And if you have an issue you'd like to hear more about, send your ideas or questions to communications@sd25.us.